Okay, off we go. Skill 4 is all about closing. It's really about collecting a decision. Because basically once we've shown people what we want them to see in the way of tools, we've already preempted them to give us a yes or a no. So we're not looking to do a hard sales situation on them. We're just looking for them to give us a yes or a no. The ones that we do really want, we will have positioned them for a yes, so the decision should come fairly easy. Now just imagine that if we do collect enough decisions, it might be that you want your office to look a little bit like that. The closing skill, although it should reasonably be easy if we've done the first section of what we do correctly, it's still got to be mastered. But it's not a sales skill like people think sometimes it is, where we dominate the prospect. We've just got to keep the prospect in rapport at all times. It's like a conversation. And if you remember, we're making relationships, and we don't pitch in relationships. We have a gentle conversation. So anything that puts the conversation into a pitch takes the prospect right out of rapport, and the defensive barriers rise straight away. So when we've taken them through the prospect, when we've shown them everything that they want on a follow-up process, then we're in a situation where we can ask them questions relevant to, do they want to join the business? But always remember that a new distributor never ever attempts to close their own prospects. It just doesn't work that way. And it's always done by an experienced mentor. The conversion rates go up from about 10% to about 80% when it's done by an experienced mentor. And so that shows you the difference when you've got somebody experienced and when you are not dealing with your own prospects. This is one close that you can use in any situation. I'm going to give you a variance of closes tonight, and then I'm going to give you some power statements and some trial closes that you can use. And bearing in mind that whenever you're in a situation, you can always have your computer on in front of you while you're speaking on your phone to prompt you and help you while you're in the learning stage. So once they've been through everything that they've ever wanted to see, you can ask them this question: what did you like best about what you've seen so far? And they're going to tell you and describe, and you can question them and do what you want. And then you'll say, let me just ask you, would it be okay? Or let me ask you a question. Would it be okay if I ask you a question? And the first question, we test in the temperature of the prospect. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't have any interest whatsoever, 10 being you're ready to get started right this minute, where are you? Where do you see yourself? And don't say any more, just wait for the answer. Anything over a 1 is good. People think, oh, if they give me a 2 or 3, I'm scared. No, a 1 means they're not really interested, so just let them go. It means basically you're dead in the water. It isn't a fit with them. Just accept the no, and don't let it be an emotional deal with yourself. Always stay removed from the yeses and the nos. 2 is a chance, but you have to convince me. Now, if it is a 2, a 3 or a 4, you just say, what would it take? So there's a degree of interest. What would it take to get you to, if they've said 3, to a 4 or a 5? So that you're not pushing them, so they're going to give you some more information that they feel that they need to make a qualified decision. Anything over a 5, you just literally go into the second question, and this is what makes a difference. Now, hypothetically, if the prospect's name is Sally, hypothetically Sally, if you were to get started with this business on a part-time basis, just how much money would you need to make each month to make it worth your while? So we're talking money straight away. They've answered all the questions about the business. They've even given us an indication what they would like in previous things that we've done with them. So now we're asking them a very pointed question: what is the money? Don't try and upsell numbers. Accept the numbers that they give you, because that's the money that they associate with. The third question is about what they'll sacrifice. So how many hours a week would you commit to developing this sort of income? And this is telling you the sacrifice and time adjustments they're willing to make in their life. Always remember as well, if you do happen to come across a really busy executive, just small slots of 15 to 30 minutes in those people's lives are really useful in this business, because they can get to a lot of people. They've got a big circle of influence. They can get to a lot of people in 15, 30 minutes. And the fourth question, we're looking at the time scale. How many months would you commit to work to develop that level of income? And what they're looking at, it gives the level of expectation in where they go from a standing start to the level of money that is a turn on for them. And it's a subconscious commitment of their time that they're giving you, so that's important. And bearing in mind, we try to build this business in blocks of 90 days. And if you look, there's the 4 seasons there. And when we think God was very wise, because he sort of developed the earth in blocks of 90 days, and maybe that was because he realized that the best profession in the world, network marketing, is built in 90-day blocks. So he was giving us a bit of a leg up when he designed the 4 seasons, because if you think 90 days of winter is okay, because then we've got spring, and 90 days of spring, we're then looking forward to summer. And it just goes on and on, so we can tolerate anything for 90 days. When you're going through, this is a one-off that you can go through without looking at all of the different slides there. It just takes you straight the way through. What did you like best to how many ones would you commit to work? So you can just put that in front of you and read that through without the explanation as to why. This is another close. If you've got somebody that is showing a lot of degrees of enthusiasm, they've gelled with the other 2 people on the phone, or even more team members that they've been introduced with, that they know there's a team structure. And so you would say to them, when you've got conversation really close and exciting, you just say, do you know, Sally, I would love you to be a member of our team. Do you know, in fact, I'm actually going to invite you to join the team. Sally, would you like to be a member of our team? Can you see how I've used the name twice? Emphasized the team 3 times, so she knows she's going to be a member of a team. Very few members can actually not remember that close. It's so easy, and very few prospects can refuse a yes when you use that close. So that's all about when you feel as though that they've gelled with the team. That's a good way of closing them. Then we've got what is called the invisible close. You say, well, hang on, what's an invisible close? And the invisible close is because the prospect doesn't know that you're closing them. So when you've been through the last of all the tools, in our case, they'll have looked at the rise of the entrepreneur, they'll have seen the webinar, and maybe they might have wanted information on other things. So we will have shown them the webinars to go and, not webinars, websites to go and check information. Once they've done all of that and we know that they don't need any more information, we come in with this close and say, let me ask you, Sally, bear in mind there are three of us on the call. There's the person who is trying to sponsor Sally, and there would be a mentor, and I'm taking the place of the mentor. So let me ask you, Sally, what has Tommy done on the last few calls? They smile over this. They just go, well, he's just listening or nothing. And you say, that's right. Is that something you feel you could do? They've got to say yes to that. Would it be okay if Tommy and I did for you what I'm doing for Tommy tonight? They're going to say, yeah, because they can see that it's training. Now, Sally, if you do decide to join us, there are only two possible outcomes. One, you join and turn myself, the mentors, and the team all into failures. Sally, the mentors have many combined years of using this system and making people successful. Or two, you could join and we could turn you into a huge success. Now, Sally, which of the two things do you think is going to happen? I've said this to so many people and everybody just says a huge success. So they're committing. That's the decision. If they join, are they going to be a failure or are they going to be a success? Now, this is really where we explain, we give them back all of the things that they've given us on their dreams. So now, Sally, what do you think it will feel like to, and you repeat back to them all of the things they've said that would create their perfect lifestyle. Would all of those things I've repeated back give you that perfect lifestyle, Sally? Yeah. Sally, I'm going to welcome you to the team. I just think this is a perfect fit, don't you? You just put the pen in the hand and you wiggle the paper underneath the pen. For those of you who don't appreciate my jokes, that means you just wiggle the paper and do the signature for them instead of them moving the pen, but you just get them to sign the paperwork up. So that close is just so easy because the prospect, you're just taking him through a process that he really isn't aware of until he gets to the end, but it's all agreement in everything that he wants to do. Then there are other ways you can do it. If you've maybe got a green personality who likes to go into information and is pedantic, and you can just ask him, what's the best thing that can happen as the result of taking the risk of joining? What's the most likely thing to happen as the result of taking this risk? What's the worst thing that can happen as a result of taking the risk? That's joining the business. This is the way to make up your mind. If the most likely thing to happen will get you closer to your goals, and if you're willing to live with the worst thing that can happen, march onwards. If the most likely thing, it won't get you closer to your goals, then it's futile to look any further, and it just isn't a fit for you. If you're not willing to deal with the worst thing that can happen, again, run away quickly because it just isn't a fit for you. Learn to go through things and don't be afraid of no's, because if it's a struggle to join, it'll be 3 times the struggle to work. Now I'm just going to go through with you on some innocent questions that you can use. And if you try to learn all of them, it'll be hard work. Learn 1 or 2 and just remember to use them, because it'll help you in the understanding of the way they think, and the thoughts are all behind the questions. What will happen if you don't join our business? Of course, what's going through the mind is now nothing is going to happen, because the prospect mentally answers the question themselves. They will probably be thinking, life will be the same. Tomorrow will be just like today. I'm going to wake up early, commute to work, come back late, grab a quick meal, watch some TV, go to sleep. Yes, we will repeat this same old routine over and over again until we are put out to pasture, until we're just too old to work. They see that in the mind, and it's not a very pretty picture. Now, if the prospect chooses to leave everything the same If they choose to reject the opportunity, what is it? It is okay. They are making a decision, and that is all we ask. Remember, at the front end, give me a yes or a no. Be prepared for either. If you don't start your own business now, do you see yourself always working for a boss? Everybody has a dream at some time to be their own boss, even if it's looking at a boss and thinking and dreaming they would like to be that person. People do dream of being in control of their own life instead of taking orders from other people. This is their chance, and all I've got to do is make a decision. If they turn down the chance you've given them, don't be worried. It's a yes or a no. What do you think will happen next year if you don't make any changes this year? They're going to look back at some time in their life and they're going to have to live with the regrets. And sometimes when they look at the regrets and you're just not pressurizing them, you're just asking them for a decision or you're putting a proposition to them, they look at it and they make their own decision. And sometimes somebody on the fence will give you a yes. Do you think your job routine, 5 days a week, 2 weeks vacation, will ever change? Can you see what you put into people's minds when you give them these type of questions? The answer is no. But the prospect has to face up to the reality that the current job is a sentence for life. They've got no hope of long vacations, extended travel, and above average income. It's not a pretty sight. If they make a decision not to join now, it might be that they're giving up the last spark of hope that ever happens in their life. And most people want hope in their life. So don't be afraid to use these questions. I see you're kind of stressing about making a change in your daily life. Why not just relax and enjoy your life as it is? Don't forget, we're in rapport with our prospect. We're not pitching, we're in a conversation. You tell the client he's stressed, de-stress him. Take it away. Stay in your current unfulfilling life. Let them think that it doesn't bother us and it shouldn't bother us because we're giving them an opportunity. We aren't going to live their stress with them. But a strange fact about humans is that we always want what we can't have, and if we do the things like taking it away, like say, look, if you're stressing, just relax and leave your life as it is. It suddenly goes through the mind that no, they don't want their life as it is. They have to do something different. You don't have to make a decision tonight. Instead, you could just decide to remain in your present job routine. It's the same thing, but just different words. We've given the prospect permission not to make a decision to join us. So they're very relieved. Then we tell the prospect that this means making a decision to keep their present job and their life the same as it is. And when they actually think about it, that isn't what they like. Not many people want their life to remain the same, and you need to get that into your life and realise that it's your posture sometimes that gets people to join you, because people will only join somebody that they feel is at least successful or on the road to success. Nobody wants to make a decision to continue an unfulfilling life. All of those questions are really related around problems that our prospects have. And remember, we solve people's problems. So make it easy for your prospects, because all of these techniques are just rejection free. We are totally detached to the outcome. Do not make yourself attached to the outcome. We're not responsible for the decision they make or to the lives they live. We're only obligated to give them a choice if they want to change their life. So basically, leave the rest to them. Do not be involved in the decision, yes or no. power phrases that you can use along the way that changes people's method of thinking. When they ask you how much does it cost, millions of pounds not to get involved. Can you see yourself guiding people through a process just like I did with you? Yes. Can you see how that's almost a trial close in itself? Can you see you doing this process that I've been through? They're going, yes, I can do that. And when people think that they can do the process and the system, that's one of the major questions that they're asking in their subconscious mind. Can I do it? I'm not claiming we have an automatic system. I'm actually demonstrating it. So that's a thing that you can say when you're doing the three-way calls and when you're going through the tools, because you're actually demonstrating what the system is. Very, very powerful. Get into the game with us. That's a very powerful throwaway phrase. It makes people want to do that because it's a positive type of statement. Get into the game with us. Let me lay out how the business will start for you. Another power phrase thing. Are you wasting a lot of your earning time if they're dithering? Now is the time to pull the trigger if you're serious. That's another easy throwaway line because it gives you pretty much a yes or a no. Focus on yourself. End up with wealth. How would you like combining the power of the McDonald's restaurant with the system that makes you wealthy? They're associating the McDonald's there as a franchise, as a system to make money. We have a system that makes them wealthy. So it's what we're doing. We're attaching what we do with the success of the McDonald's chain. Very powerful in the way it works with the subconscious mind. Security can come with change. Everybody wants security in the future. Very powerful again, little phrases that help in what you do. This is just a process to see if it is a fit for you. And that's in the early part of what you ever do with anybody, because it is a process, and to see if it's a fit for you. And also you can add for both of us, because we both have to say yes. We can have you start, if they're eager, we can have you started today. That forces a decision subconsciously. Does this seem like something you can do? If it looks easy and they go yes, they're telling you that I can do it. But if you've been pounding them with loads and loads of information about compensation plans and products and company literature and everything like that, they're going to think, I can't remember all that, and they're going to say no. But I bet none of you have experienced that, have you? Do you see an opportunity for yourself? Isn't that powerful? That's another implied thing. They're telling you yes or no. Yes. Have you looked at the staff in ASDA? Retired people? Do they work for love or do they need the money? You're just reminding, especially if you've got people at the older age and they might not have pension requirements, you're just painting a physical picture there in their mind that when they go shopping, that yes, they're all employing old people now. And do they want to be working in ASDA or another retail outlet when they're supposed to be enjoying life? No, they don't. It's a great picture painter, that is. I promise I'm not going to push you, chase you or sell you. That's at the beginning, but it sets the scene and it gives you posture. I'm going to personalize the business just for you. Makes them feel important and as though we can tailor the business directly for them, which we can. If you retire today, could you live very comfortably until 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon? That's a bit of a trick thing because, yeah, they can live to 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, but not many people could live in comfort much more than that. This is an opportunity to make all the money you want, but we do it by a process, and we've gone through the process over and over, so we're stressing the process. I'm not going to chase you around. My job is just to be a tour guide. Anybody can be a tour guide. And when you're stating that, they think, yeah, I can do what you have done, because all you have done is pointed me to information. You've spoken very little. You've just pointed me to tools, webinars, videos, and I have looked at the information, and I can point people to do that. How much do you really want to earn? The team will help you do it. Another way of just emphasizing the team, getting them comfortable. It's just like doing a process each day. How committed are you? Tells you again. Once you get the process to reflex level, you can write your own check. Anybody, once they can do these things without thinking that it's just reflex, that is time to write your own check, because that's when the business really will get exponential growth. Look, if you reach into your pocket and there is no money there, maybe you're following the wrong plan. Does that make them think, well, yeah, how long have you been at work? 5, 10 years, 20 years, sometimes 30 years, and you're struggling to find £200? Do you not think you've been following the wrong plan all these years? Look, tell me this one thing. Do you have a distinctive desire to better your financial situation? Yes or a no? Is that difficult for them to say no to? Look at some of these questions and think of what it does. If your income was doubled or tripled, would you accept the increase? It's making them realise that, well, yes, if the boss doubled or tripled my salary, of course I'd accept it. And automatically the subconscious mind is transferring, doubling and tripling their income, so they see that as a figure that they could accept. It gives them a degree of belief that it can happen. I said this to myself a few months ago, and I'm going to say it to you. Isn't it about time you took charge of your life? That's a tough one, but when you're in a conversation with somebody, you're not going to upset them, because this is a conversation. You've built a relationship up with people. Why would you deny yourself and your family the income that this business can offer you? I'm just asking you to see enough information to make an intelligent decision. Is that fair enough? This business is going to be massive with or without us. You can see that, can't you? Don't you agree your family deserves the freedom that this business offers? When you drop these power phrases into conversations, it's amazing how quickly people catch on to the dream. If I could show you a way to double your income this year, would you give me 32 minutes of your time? See, that's a way that you could even invite people to look. It's a powerful invite. What difference would an extra $1,000 per month make to your lifestyle? Get them to just emphasize what that difference would be. Are you doing what you want to be doing for the rest of your life? Most people would rather be right than happy and successful. How about you? That's a catch question. I know money isn't everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. That's for people who sometimes think money is evil. You've got to get them away from that type of thinking, because it isn't money that's evil. You can do good and evil with money. It's what you as a person constructs that could be evil. The biggest risk in life is actually not taking risks. Can you see that? All I can say is, if you don't make a choice, someone else will choose for you. This is a good one. It makes them really think. Too busy. Wouldn't you agree that moving fast isn't the same as going somewhere? If they're genuinely giving you an excuse, and you know it's an excuse, and you've got to get to the heart of what it really is, this is an expensive excuse. I really don't think you can afford it. Don't be frightened to use these. It creates pictures in people's mind. If you're not too excited about your bank balance, you need to pay attention to this plan. There's a few different ways, we've said that, but you choose the ones that you're comfortable with. This is all about how badly you want to improve your life circumstances. Do you have a desire to do that? They've pretty much got to say yes to that, else they start looking like a bit of a numpty. I would not like this to be a waste of time for both of us. This is everything you could ever want in an opportunity. You are a talented person. I respect that. My question for you is, how much money are you going to lose by staying at your present position? I'm going to give you a few trial closes. Sally, a good lifestyle is expensive. You know that. They'll react to that. Yes, it is. Da-de-da. If you were offered a seat on a rocket ship, don't ask which seat, just get on. Paints a picture in the mind of urgency. You may want to consider the benefits of doing this. You've put the word benefit. They're going to look at the benefits in their subconscious mind. You may want to consider the benefits of working with an uplifting and motivating team. The word team means together, they're not on their own. If this just looks good, resonates, just feels right, then just go ahead and join. Well, if you decide to join us, then we'd be happy to work with you. That is a very powerful, if you decide to join us, it resonates with the subconscious, and it's a doing suggestion. Do you have any questions before we get the paperwork out of the way? If there was one question that would stop you doing this business, what would it be? When they tell you that, it means if you answer that satisfactorily, there's nothing else that stops them joining. Sally, can I ask you a question? What would be the first thing you would do if you had an extra $5,000 per month in your budget? Immediately puts them into the dream and the mode of what you want them to think about. Very often when people have watched the webinar and they come on and they're just giving me really good vibes about everything, all the questions I ask, they go, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I like that. I just go, wow, sounds to me like you're ready to get started. Straight away, woof. That tests the water. It's like a thermometer in the water. Sometimes I go, wow, yeah, or, oh no, I'm not ready yet. And so, wow, okay, that's fine. It's just you were sounding so excited. I just thought, okay, and you just drop back into what you do. Based on what you've seen and heard, do you think there's an opportunity here? Isn't that an easy one? I do. It's almost like we're marrying them to Synergy and to the system. Next week, we're going to cover overcoming objections. Basically, we shouldn't have objections. The objections are just so you know the answers that you get in general conversation, and it helps to increase your posture. So I hope you've seen ways that you can actually close the prospects in an easy and a gentle way, that the prospect feels comfortable, you feel comfortable, and people are moving forward to change the lifestyle. That's the end. The Maverick is closing down. If you want any information, just email me at synergyadvantageteam@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to answer anything that you have. This will be recorded and it will be sent out to any of you that requested. So good night.